confused as to who your players are?
No, I know who our players are.
But after a performance like last week, the performance that you get today, there must be some level of confusion as to how that can happen.
Yeah, we're really patchy with our form today. They obviously started the game very well, had that horrible patch to finish the first quarter where we went from 4 goals up to, I think the quarter-time score was 6 goals to 5 goals 5, so they just outworked us. They were cleaner, they were sharper around the contest. Saw more of that in the second quarter, unfortunately, and after the boys sort of dug their heels in to get back in front, a couple of points up at three-quarter time, to be outscored 1 goal to 6 goals 5, I think it was, in the last quarter. That's the part that really makes us angry and really frustrates us in the coach's box, in the change rooms. Players are obviously feeling the same, and I'm sure our fans are exactly the same tonight. You know, they'd be really bitterly disappointed that we let a great opportunity slip today. And you know, West Coast played well, and we certainly weren't at our best for the majority of our game today.
Can you understand why the fans would be confused? Oh
yeah, I mean, for sure. They, from what they saw on TV last week, it was very different to what we saw, particularly in that last quarter today. And probably the one guy we didn't want to get hurt in today's match was Talia, and unfortunately he gets subbed out before half time, and you know, Kennedy finished with 5 goals 4 or whatever he kicked, but we didn't win many positions today. I thought our defenders were badly beaten. Our midfielders got touched up, and our forwards, although they kicked a couple of goals, the ball just sort of came out of there too easy today.
That's one of the big things. You pride yourself on that defensive pressure, and
yep.
Their transition from half back to deep forward was at times like,
yeah,
you know, the old saying about, you know, the knife through butter sort of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we had 15 forward 50 tackles, I think, which was one of our season highs. But it was between the arcs. It was they were able to get chains that sort of transitioned from our forward 50 into their forward 50, and their forwards just worked so hard to get space, and unfortunately we couldn't stay with them. You know, as I said, the boys were beaten down there today. Still gave up too many inside 50s though. I think they had 58 inside 50s, but still, it'd be, if it's not the highest, it'd be close to the highest score we've given up this year.
So it was the most sort of uncontested footy you've allowed as well?
Yeah, well, the ball was sort of raced up and down the ground too much. You know, we couldn't control the tempo when we needed to. We looked really stagnant in attack. Didn't take the game on. Didn't get any overlap run. Kicked the ball to a contest too much. And our favourite one, or the one that annoys us the most, is when we were out and should have kicked the ball forward, we had one more handball which then got turned over. So instead of kicking it forward, we still look to give one extra handball, which is not what we're training for, and not what our game plan is.
So what's it saying of the group? Because what I'm hearing you say today, after what I heard you say on Sunday, is so far to an extreme.
Yep. Within
a 6-day period. So what's it saying of that group?
Well, we didn't play our best footy today. We allowed West Coast to get the game on their terms. We had too many players didn't play to the standard that we expect them to. We allowed West Coast's best players to play well. You know, Natanui was fantastic. Kennedy played well, like Jack Darling's game. Shuey was exceptional. Pritis, very good, and of course Gaff, highest possession win on the ground and kicked 3 goals. So we just let them dictate the play today, which is unacceptable. And we'll got an 8-day break now leading into Brisbane, so we've got to hit the track running and make sure we look for ways to get back in form.
How much of a factor is that becoming, the sort of string of 6-day breaks you guys have got?
Oh, it's not a factor today because we had a bye 2 weeks ago. I mean, the boys played out of their skin 6 days ago against Collingwood, but the reality is, in this industry, if you've got a 6-day break, you're expected to come up and play well again 6 days later. It's plenty of sides have won this year on a 6-day break. So that's not an issue for us, and certainly not an excuse of how we performed. The boys did look like they were struggling in that last quarter, but sometimes when you can't win the footy, you look like you're tired, but it's not an excuse. No excuses today at all. The Talia injury didn't help. We acknowledge that. You know, that's the one player we didn't want to get hurt today. We had to shuffle our structure. Podsiadly has to go back. We didn't pick Lynch, so Podsy goes back. We've only got two forwards. When Jenkins goes in the ruck, we play with one. So all of a sudden our structure was very different. But yeah, we'll look back at what we could have done different in the game. At times we had +1 behind the ball. At times when even numbers. We tried to tag Pritis. We tried to tag Shuey. We tried to tag Gaff at times on the wing. Laird went to Hearn at different times of the game to try and shut him down, but we were just chasing our tail for a lot of the game. We were trying to put out spot fires everywhere, unfortunately. And as I said, not too many winners on the ground for us today. I think West Coast will feature mostly in the best players on the ground.
What did you make of the delivery into the forward line? Is that sort of how you wanted it to look?
Slow, wide, and when we did kick it in there, we bombed it high, which just played into their hands. They didn't allow us today to get any sort of run and flow into our attack today. It was disappointing because we were slow, we were sideways, we would kick it backwards, and then when we did finally kick it in there, it was wide and high, so it didn't give our forwards much of a chance. We sort of scrapped and fought for our goals today, and yeah, really angry today with the outcome of the match.
But is that a lot of physical things or mental thing? Like, as you said, you played 6 days ago. Surely that's a breakdown in the mental approach.
Well, we started well, so mentally we were ready to play today, without question. But when the pressure really came, when the game was on the line, we weren't able, mentally and physically, to be able to withstand the pressure that West Coast put on us. And as I've said all year, you sometimes have to be a bit patient and tolerant with a young team, but we didn't have enough. We didn't have enough players really stand up when it mattered today, which is chalk and cheese from what we saw 6 days ago. When the game was on the line 6 days ago, we had 21 players stand up. Today, when the game was really on the line and needed to be won, 3 or 4 players, which is unacceptable.
Some people may doubt now whether you deserve to be in the finals with a performance like that. Did you see it as a setback, or do you believe you can recover?
Oh, without question, it's a setback. Yeah, we go into every game expecting to win. We prepare for every opponent the same. We put as much time and effort into each opponent, and the determination and desire before every game is exactly the same. So, as I said, we started well today, and then it was like a bad dream after those first 4 goals. They just piled on the pressure, and that's what's disappointing, is when we took a lead into 3/4 time, we weren't able to sustain it. We unfortunately capitulated.
Just on that point of mental ability, do you think it's an attitude concern?
No, our attitude's been great. When we started the season 0-3, and our attitude's been great since there. We've been written off a lot this year. There's plenty of doomsdayers out there who don't think we're capable of competing in September, and I mean, we've got to wait 4 weeks to see whether we have been good enough to qualify. But internally, within our group, we'll focus now on an 8-day break preparing for Brisbane. We know that their form up there is really solid, and they've certainly got plenty of stars in their team as well. So we'll review the game, we'll look for opportunities that we can look to improve in, and there'll be plenty of them today. As I said, they were sharper, they were cleaner, they didn't fall over, they didn't miss tackles today. So yeah, it's a disappointing game. It's a disappointing result for us today. We're really quite frustrated about how we finished that game, and we'll see what sort of response we get in 8 days' time.
Brenton, on the big picture, when you see how vulnerable you are without Talia, how much does that say you do need another big defender?
Yes, Talia's become. I mean, he's been an All-Australian he's been in All-Australian form for us this season. He's one of our most important players. You know, I think when you're building a squad, you look for a key forward, key defender, a really solid ruckman, and also two or three really dynamic midfielders, and the rest sort of form after that. So when your number one key defender goes down, you certainly get challenged. And
you would need 2. So who's the second one, or do you need to find the second one?
Well, at the moment it's Luke Thompson and Ben Rutten. Cole Hartigan's potentially out for the remainder of the season, so hopefully Tales comes up next week. And at the moment, then, yeah, we're fighting, I guess, the 2 guys fighting for the one spot at the moment are Luke Thompson and Ben Rutten. Andy Otten can also play as a genuine tall, and we saw today Podsy Adelaide went back and played that role for us when Talia got hurt.
But looking longer term, does that mean you've got to get in the market on that one?
Oh, we always look for ways to strengthen our squad, and but yeah, certainly a key position or a key back would be something that we'd look to strengthen our squad with going forward.
Thanks, guys.
Could you have done more with Gaff? I mean, or were there just too many of them playing well?
Yeah, as I said, we were sort of chasing our tail a lot today. Hearn, Prutis, Shuey. You're right though, Gaff was electric for him. Really dynamic outside player. A lot of sides run with him. We tried Mackay on him at different times today. Grigg went on him for a fair bit of the game as well when he came on as the sub, but yeah, he got outside us too much.
Thanks, guys.
Do you take issue with that doomsday sort of stuff from the outside?
No, I don't.
So you understand what a result like this would do in terms of...
Yep.
Thanks, guys. Enough, Rich. In terms of